I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with Timex watches. In fact, I think a lot of us do. And this one reminds me of an ex-girlfriend of mine. It looks incredible. But actually, it's a bit of a nightmare, and the more time you spend with it, the less time you want to spend with it. And a little bit like that ex-girlfriend, I did stalk this watch a little bit online. Come on, let's be honest. Who doesn't do a little bit of social media stalking every now and then? Anyway, I kept going back to the Timex website to just look at this watch because I just thought it looks so good. And I still think it looks really, really good. It's way out of my league. Hang on, are we still talking about the watch or the ex-girlfriend? Well, the ex-girlfriend was definitely out of my league. I don't feel this watch is that much out of my league because, well, I've now spent some time with the watch and I know the specifications, and yeah, it's the same old thing from Timex. The watches do look incredible. Amazing vintage inspired watches, but for £180, this one's going to leave you crying in the corner of the room listening to Tony Braxton Unbreak My Heart. I never did that, honest. I mean, just look at this thing. It is a very pretty watch. They're saying this dial is a champagne dial. Yeah, I don't think so. And they've said that the case and the bracelet are made out of recycled steel. Do they mean actually recycled steel, or do they mean that the bracelet and the case is recycled in the sense that it's almost identical to a watch that they made in the 1960s. I mean, isn't all metal recycled to some degree? Because it can be, well, reformed and reused. It's not like it's made of plastic. I don't think that's much of an environmental claim, is it? We've made our watch out of steel, which had to be forged. Therefore, it's recycled from stuff we found in the ground. Anyway, there is something else that I sort of like about this watch other than its looks. The movements. They've actually used a mecha quartz movement, the VK63, a Seiko mecha quartz movement. I was expecting a super cheap quartz chronograph movement, so I was pleasantly surprised with the movement choice. I still don't think it justifies the price of £180. The crystal, I mean, when I unboxed it and I saw that crystal, I couldn't believe it. I mean, there's domed, and then there's this. And this isn't mineral crystal, this is acrylic. Again, it's a vintage inspired watch, and back in the 60s, the crystal, would have probably been acrylic. And actually, to some degree, acrylic's pretty cool because if you scratch it, you can just polish it out with, well, any polish. Basically, nail polish would probably do. Don't use nail polish. I don't mean that. Car polish, any sort of polish will basically remove scratches on acrylic crystal. But the problem is you only have to look at it to scratch it. And talking about scratches, they've said in their listing on their website that stainless steel is incredibly resistant to scratches. Well, I can tell you it is not. After I finished polishing watches, I have to handle them with gloves because I can literally scratch the steel with my fingers. You just have to have sort of dust and debris and drag your finger across a beautifully polished surface, and it can, if you've got grit or whatever dirt bits and pieces on your finger, on your skin, it can scratch the steel. So they're really going over the top with their marketing for this watch, but it's Timex, it's a big brand. Of course their marketing plays a key role in persuading you that this £50 watch is worth £180. Now, like pretty much every Timex watch I've handled, the bracelet is, well, actually I was going to say disappointing. It is a bit disappointing. It's very, very jangly. But then for this style of bracelet, you'd expect it to be. Split pins, a little bit disappointing, but it's what I expect. Actually, the brushing and the polishing is all right. Bracelet's not terrible. The clasp is shocking. Horrible. Horrible clasp. Actually, the case is fairly nicely finished. The crystal, though, I really don't like that crystal. What are they thinking? I mean, the height of this crystal is just comical. I love the colours, though, and I love the overall design. I do like that dial, even though, I said it's not a champagne sunburst dial, and I really don't think it is. Champagne sunburst dials are actually very expensive to make because they have to have multiple layers of different colours in order to get that sort of two-tone effect. This is just a gold tone sunburst dial. It's a little bit champagne-y in terms of its colour, but it's not a true champagne sunburst dial. I like the colour, sort of colour coordinated presses and crown. I like the hands. I like the indices. They're a little bit rough, those numbers. The black finish on those those numbers is a little bit rough. There is an imperfection on the dial, which can only really be seen under macro, so I'm not going to give them a really hard time about that. 50 meters of water resistance, pull push crown, screw down case back, lot of polishing on the case back, so that's going to scratch up pretty quick. Look, it's probably not the worst Timex I've handled. It's probably one of the prettiest Timex watches I've ever handled, and I still think it is gorgeous. But like that ex-girlfriend, once you get over that initial excitement of how it looks and spending, a little bit of time with it at the beginning, you're left wondering, well, can I spend the rest of my life with this watch? I am talking about the watch, and I couldn't. And I'm always confused when I handle Timex watches because I see rave reviews about Timex watches and I'm left wondering, well, why is it I have a different opinion? Why does my opinion seem to differ so greatly to other watch reviewers' opinions when it comes to these watches? I mean, £180 for this watch. You can get a lot of watch for the money. Yes, you're getting a big brand. Yes, you're getting a great looking watch with a Seiko Mecha Quartz movement inside it, but there's just so many things about this watch that disappoint me. It's infuriating because if they just made a few changes, this watch could be incredible. Oh, I need to get my blood pressure checked. Oh, I need to go and calm down, have a cup of tea and a biscuit and, head online and stalk a few ex-girlfriends maybe. That's always fun, isn't it? Right, guys. Let me know what you think of the watch. And are you seeing the same thing that I'm seeing? Let me know in the comments section. Take care, guys.